It's a hit film from the 1980s that has a cult following of science fiction fans, and one of the key scenes features a glider. But how accurately does Escape from New York portray the experience and technology involved in flying one of these unpowered aircraft? Kurt Russell is the character Snake, who's on a mission to silently sneak into post-apocalyptic New York using a glider called the Gullfire. The cockpit of a 1970s era glider would have mechanical instruments, but check out the Gullfire's dashboard of tiny monitors ahead of its time. It looks more like the cockpit of a modern recreational glider. Looking at the pointy nose, stumpy wingtips and angled T-tail, I suspect the Gullfire may actually be an IS-28. These two-seat, all-metal gliders were designed in Romania in the 1970s, and they're still flying at glider clubs around the world today. Now for the launch. Snake is living dangerously with an aero tow at night. He tracks to Manhattan from around Ellis Island, so he's got about 2 kilometres to reach the World Trade Center, but it looks like he's only about 300 feet above sea level, so he could make the glide angle, but he'd be getting very low. Also, look at the way the glider's wings are flopping down. It looks all wrong. The long wings on gliders actually bend up when they're flying, like this glider with a massive 25-metre wingspan. Recreational gliders operate on visual flight rules, but the Gullfire has cameras providing a 360-degree view using night vision. So the film really predicted the type of future sensors that are now included on the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. But these cameras are certainly not a thing in recreational gliders. Snake reaches Manhattan, but now his instruments show he's at an altitude of 700 feet. I don't know how he gained that height. During the day there's thermal lift to catch as the sun heats the ground, which creates rising air, but that lift disappears at night. But forget meteorology and physics. Snake yanks the stick back and the glider manages to convert not much speed into a lot of extra height with some remarkable efficiency. There is a brief reference later to the Gullfire being a jet glider, so maybe Snake fired up the engine, but that would mess with his stealthy approach. The little jet engines you can attach to a glider are still really loud. Now the landing. The roof of the original World Trade Center towers were about 200 feet wide. That is a short runway, but it is doable, especially if you're flying into a massive headwind like this absolute gun of a glider pilot in Sweden. Whoa. Back to the film, and Snake makes a hard landing. You don't want to fly a glider into the ground with too much speed. Whoa. Like you see here, the glider will just bounce back into the air. So Snake deploys the air brakes, but normally you open glider air brakes while you're still descending, not after you've touched down. Next, an arrestor hook comes out of the glider and digs into the ground, saving him from falling off the edge of the building. Sadly, I've never seen an arrestor hook used on a recreational glider. Now, check out this behind-the-scenes documentary showing how Escape from New York was actually filmed. The set designers built miniature buildings, then dropped tiny, cute little glider figurines onto them. In summary, the film's physics feel a bit made up, but I for one welcome our cyberpunk dystopian future. The world might be in chaos, but at least it still has gliders in it. So I'd give it 7 stars out of 10. And if there's any other movies or shows that involve a glider that I should review, let me know in the comments.